really don't belong. I can't explain it. When I close my eyes, I see a strange reality. Am I dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? You wake up feeling like you really don't belong. You can't explain it, but when you close your eyes you see familiarity. Are you dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? Okay, I think I need to make myself a dunce cap because I keep forgetting the differences between broadcasting through YouTube and Twitch, which I'm normally on. Now this is my new normal and I'm still not normalized to it, acclimated to it. Okay. So yeah, so there's timing issues and I don't have a screen saying starting soon or be right back as I do on Twitch. So until I get that kind of thing figured out, which I don't have yet, I have not yet. No, I'm getting offers from a lot of strange artists. I'm not saying they are strange, although in a couple of cases that might also be the case, but they're just artists who are doing what I should be doing to promote our little Diva Digit. But they're promoting their art that they're doing for, you know, YouTube and Twitch. And, you know, I can't afford to hire anybody at this point, so we wait until I start to make some money. In the meantime, I'm sure you'll bear with me because the cool thing about videos is you can fast forward through the crap. So I just suggest that unless you really want to hear me sing the same song or one of the two same songs every show to open, you may as well just, fast forward. So Toeblarina and I went shopping today, and I guess I'm going to need different glasses. Okay, this is my new close-up glasses. They're actually my old frames. I really love these frames, so I figured if I see these, they're so different from all my other glasses that I would know immediately. These are like the magnifying glass eyeglasses. These are the kind of over here glasses, and the computer screen over there glasses, which is what we're going to use right now, because if somebody writes to me, oh wait a minute, where's my little writing? Hello, hey, aloha. Was not. It looks like you're not, you're still typing. Hello everybody, aloha Maui. Let me move my many noisy eyeglass cases out of the way. Ta-da! Now I have been sticking to my mantra. Everything just seems to go my way. Things just seem to go my way. Things are going my way. Things always go my way. And while I know some of that is an exaggeration, because nobody has everything go their way, but I would have to say that I get a lot going my way, especially the last couple of days. It's been awesome. Wow. It sounds like they killed it remotely. Wow. So how fast will it be for the refund? And do you already have another one ready to be shipped to you? Oh, I think so too. I agree. Just like they made sure, they make sure if they're going to give you the money back, that you have no use and you cannot resell it. That way they're not getting ripped off. So you get the full refund. They make sure it doesn't exist anymore within 10 days. You have a computer, don't you? I mean, I don't have a TV. I live on my internet. You know, I mean, on a computer screen. It's only the last well, a year or two that I've actually started using my phone for more than a phone. I don't like that, but I discovered something about my phone versus the Kindle. I can hear the music on this. Even without my hearing aids, without my hearing aids in, it's got to be pretty close. I mean, I will walk like this so I can hear something if I have to. And this is not very good because I almost put my cup of tea up here the other night. I'm going to listen to my tea. Hello. So, yeah. I just don't like all these things on my phone. But I'm now invested in it, you know? It's like, okay, there you go. I just got a heart for something. Oh, Kaylee. What a sweetie. You got it right. You got it right, Maui. Everything connected to the internet is controllable by whoever's controlling the internet or knows how to get the signals, the codes. I mean, that's where they have all the secure packets of information that go over the wire, lack of wires. Oh. Yep, they'll be able to just stop you. The police of the future should be able to just make your car stop moving. There will be no need for weapons. They can just lock it up right there. Freeze. Wheels stop moving. So yeah, there's actually we could digitize our way out of violence, out of cop violence, if we wanted to. Well, isn't it, you know, that's the thing. We've been working toward this world. It's really not new at all. Of course, if you walk into the future and look back, it's old shit. But, yeah, right now it's all... I loved science fiction, and since I wrote science fiction and got into it in my head even when I didn't write down, I made stuff up. And, you know, Nomaris. Now, Nomaris I made more into fantasy because as I created the planet, more and more about the planet made me lean toward surviving and passing on the most important parts of society, teaching, all that. So I moved away from the high-tech stuff, even though there is high-tech stuff in there. I don't really get into it. It's more like spaceship, other planet, blah blah blah. And there are still cars, bikes, and roller skates, right? And they're just different. They're just different. So when we were kids, they were the kind of thing that you had to tighten onto your shoes, and they were constantly falling right off, which was extremely frustrating. And then when my sister was a teenager, my third sister was a teenager, they came up with the roller, like ice skates, but with rollers on them. And it was like, that kicks ass. I was scared to death on those, but my sister got good at it. One of my sisters got good at it. Or maybe two of them, I don't know. I think mostly one of them. And she later on gave me her skates because she stopped using them. I think she went to inline or something like that. And these are the traditional 4 wheels, or yeah, 4 chunks of wheels. Those things were heavy, heavier than my ice skates. It was very strange. And also it felt very strange being up that high. That's what made me nervous, was putting those on. I was like only this much off the ground, really. Well, less than 3 inches off the ground. Yeah, definitely less than 3 inches. And it felt like a foot off the ground. It felt like I was forever away from the sidewalk, you know? Skates. That's stakes, right? S-K-A-T-E. Unless you're talking about the kind of other kind of stakes, like camping tent stakes. Anyway, Toeblarina and I went shopping today. We went to the dollar store. But other things were going on, too. So, gift wrap. Tissue paper. The tissue paper is like, you know, This goes into the collection of tissue papers because it's paper. Now my friend came back from Bermuda, the one whose puppies I was babysitting, and she brought me this as a thank you for babysitting. It's a cool tote, and if you have only magazines or a book in it, you can close it with this button. But it's nice. So like, this is my second fancy tote. I've got Rick Moranis, and now I've got this. Oh, skateboard. Yeah, that's another one that's improved. But skateboards are still basically the same in the same way as surfboards are still basically the same. Now skis got shorter. I wish they were like that when I tried to learn how to ski. So we will take away the price tags. So this came from Havana, Little Havana, and it was made in India. So cool. Oh, look. Nice. Very nice. Now I went shopping for me first. I went to TJ Maxx and I got a smushy, cuddly sweater in my favorite style. Loose and sloppy and off the shoulder. So I'll be wearing this very soon. It's freaking freezing here. There we go. Of course, my place is not freezing. It's right now, it's just cozy. But soon it'll probably be way too hot. The bedroom window hasn't been shut in a week. Okay, that's one. Happy Valentine's. No! Although, I'll save that for a Toeblarina thing. Ah, thank you, universe. The things that just keep falling into my hands today. You like that? Whoop. I love the neckline, and it's made the same way my fuzzy socks are. It's so squashy, which is one of my favorite things anymore, anyway. I have that overly sensitive issue to my skin, my hands, and there are times I can't touch whatever I'm wearing. I'll put it on and I'm fine, and then later on it will just kick up, and like sensory overload. It's just too much touching this world. So my world is, wherever possible, intentionally soft. Okay, now, this, I admit, this was mine. This is for me. Lip masks, because it's been so dry. And it just happened that I was going like this when I was looking for this. And this was next to it. And I was like, maybe I should. 15 minutes? I have to stay still for 15 minutes? And then I remembered, oh yeah, well, you know, you can just put the mask on and the lip mask on and meditate for 15 minutes. So I got it. And there's 5 of them. So it looks pretty funny. I was like, am I going to be able to breathe? I don't know. This is super pampering. I am getting used to it. So because I went whole hog into the sweater today, I also bought a matching nail polish. And I'm not saying it matches exactly. It's a neutral pearl kind of a thing that is better than this stuff that has too much glitter in it, which I didn't realize as I was putting it on and today just to protect my nails, and then suddenly it was like, oh, no, I don't really like this, but I don't have time. I have to be committed, so yeah, I went ahead and did the job and then ran out and did my shopping. And more shopping. This is also for me because, let's face it, Toeblarina does none of the cooking or any of the chores around here. Not that I'm bitching. I got another spice mix to try. This one is Asian Skewer Street Market Spice Authentic Seasoning. Now, I don't know if it's authentic or not. How would I know? This is why they can market this shit to white folks. We don't know unless we know. But most people that go shopping here don't know. So I figured I'll take a chance. And I do love Chinese food. And if there's something reminiscent of Korean food that I've had, or Thai food that I've had, or Chinese or Japanese, mostly salt. Oh, that's good. Lemongrass oil. I say they do a spice extractive. I don't know what that means. I've seen it in a conjunction with a paprika. But this is dehydrated onion and garlic, sea salt. Really? I would have thought the sea salt would have been the #1 thing. Spices. Thanks a lot. Brown sugar. A sesame seeds. Yeah, definitely sugar in here. Sesame oil. Okay. Natural hickory smoke flavor, which is made of maltodextrin, natural smoke flavor. Lemongrass oil, spice extractive, silicon dioxide added to prevent caking. I would say that the spice that they're not really telling you is a pepper. It's definitely a hot. It gives it a little bit of warmth because there's no ginger in here, which is surprising. I would judge this as damn good. It's delicious and used in moderation due to the salt. I think this will be really good. Put this on some oiled up chicken and throw it in the air fryer. We'll test my theory tomorrow. Although it tastes so good, this might also be good on any fish. Not salmon, I don't think, but I've got some tilapia. Tilapia lately just seems to be, I don't know. I thought I'm getting the good kind, but it's a little flavorless. So I can probably use it. Anyway, we'll move on because I've got a bag of stuff here. Wait until you see. I'm saving the best for last. Okay, now, this is dollar store. I was looking for a platform to put Toeblarina on, and I really couldn't decide, so I figured, well, black and white, this will give me an idea for how I want to do my colors. You know, how things pop more on one than the other, so. And greetings to you, Charlie. We went shopping. So these also, because I think there's 4 here. These I can now become the plates that go down to the community room. It'll be a lot easier for me to carry. Now, this may look like a junk food feast. Don't jump to conclusions yet. Well, okay, with this one you can jump to conclusions, but maybe not completely. This one is for business, one is for pleasure. Oh. And at the dollar store, I got another something to try. Complete seasoning. Now, I probably had this like 50 years ago, if I'm correct. But I can't taste it now because I just ate that, and that's definitely still in my mouth. Well, I'll let my palate chill out for a while. Okay. I got a pair of scissors to donate to our people downstairs. They are bereft of materials in the same way every American school teacher is bereft of materials for their students. Charlie said, oh yeah, 50 years. Oh, well, those are just vanilla scented garbage bags, and I'm praying that it's super mild, because I can't stand any more of this scented shit. We got ourselves glue sticks. That's what those are, glue sticks. And cool trim for Toeblarina. I know you just said salutations. And this is really such cool stuff. It's done with jute, burlap. Nothing you'd really want rubbing on your skin. But when you have something that's only got to be an inch wide, you can do some stuff. So we're going to try doing more creative stuff. Also, with that in mind, I also picked up a couple of ribbons to make her outfits. And one last thing, balloons. Oh, God, Charlie said, love my good and plenty. So, this is for a craft. Is there anything hiding here? These are bags within bags right now, just empty bags. All right, now, I know it looks like a lot of junk food, but the truth is, most of it's actually for Toeblarina. Yes, I know. What is she gonna do? Well, we needed something like this and this. And I didn't think of it until I looked at that and went, this. We're practicing for our Valentine's Day video. So, in order not to waste a very expensive prop, I only have one take for the Valentine video, so I'm getting ready. I will be testing tensile strength of chocolate. Now, that's pretty squashy, I know, because last time I went to the dollar store, I got a box of these, and I ate the whole damn box in 3 days. These I have not eaten in years and years. Nevertheless, I was careful to get dark chocolate, because it's inevitable I'm going to do what I'm doing right now. I'm going to have to try one. Hey, I'm looking. I look down and I see crocus, hessian, jute, burlpa, which is supposed to be burlap, and then of course it had to be you. It had to be. Ryan, how are you? It is, but this is Toeblarina's haul. I'm practicing for Valentine's Day. I got a very important prop that was very expensive for what it is. And Toeblarina is going to show how she feels about Valentine's Day. Yeah, because the candy she has waiting for her is, you know, it looks like these got tossed around. Were you upside down, honey? These are so cheap. They are so cheap. But they were purchased to do a purpose, serve a purpose. And the only reason you see double here is because it was the dollar store. So these are okay. It's already I just damaged it, and so we know the bottom is super easy to smash. That was like 0 effort. A big toe with a big heart and an ingrown toenail. Her entourage started breaking out in eczema. And I started panicking until I realized that I created that from an old pattern that I inherited. So we're good now. So I can get back to work tomorrow. So let me move on. Oh, these are terrible. It is so raw sugar flavored. Give me my tea. Tea, baby. Oh. Okay, now I'm going to move all this caca aside off the table because I have something else to bring to the table. I saved the best for last. Oh, well, I could have just done this way, right? Okay. Have you ever? Toeblarina at the grocery store, no, nonetheless, at the grocery store, I found this bowl today. And it is so nice and bright and shiny. And it was so unexpectedly cheap. Probably because even if they gave it away, the first thing people have to ask is, where am I going to put that? It's huge. This would not fit in any cabinet I have. This is an under the table or in a closet kind of a size. This is now Toeblarina's spa. And boy, do we have plans. We have, thanks to Lush, Volcano Foot Mask. We have Angels on Bare Skin Foot Scrub. We have two, for 2 separate spa days, Fizzies. You know, the bath bombs but in this case, toe bombs. Oh yes, we have good stuff. We have the lotions. This has CBD in it. It is a special purpose ball. Toeblarina Spa. This smells really good. It's the first one I've tried of Dr. Teal's that isn't so overly scented that I'm going like, it'll feel good, but I can't take the smell. Overwhelming. It's actually nice, so I will be buying that one in the future. Soothe and comfort with oat milk, argan oil, and essential oils made with oat milk protein and Epsom salts, which is the key ingredient. Guess whose birthday it is later this month? It's February, guys. Because you're September. Uh-oh. The best part came out. The clear stuff that's already dissolved and like sugared right. Yeah, you can eat that. This is still waiting to become filling. Yes, that's how it works. It's young. I'm going to have to put these aside and leave them for another couple of weeks. Cheap chocolate. What do you expect if it's 4 or 5 pieces for $1? But this was $3.25. Strawberry cheesecake white chocolate truffle. I saw that. This is for the Valentine's Day video. I could not afford 2 of them. So I get one take. That's why I got the practice candy. Oh, you're August, I'm sorry. Yes, it is Epsom salts. Has been common, especially brown bagged items like that. Yes. It's meant to look generic. He's in Maui. What? And happy Black History Month. I've been posting Black History all over the place. Think about all of the people who would be dead from heart problems if they couldn't have heart surgery. Heart surgery invented by a black man. That's right. Ah, the good stuff is coming out. God. I have to pay attention to this? Okay. I like that heart. Norman is loved. Wait. Oh, yes, Norman Love confections. Yes. Overly priced. Overly priced. I'm sorry, that's not really fair. When you consider what it takes to make good chocolate, in reality, it's still overly priced, but it's overly priced because it has to pay the rent in a casino. So it's not like they're just allowed to hang out there and sell stuff at the casino. They pay a big price to be there. So there it is. And what's your judgment then, Charlie? I'm some kind of a program. I'm a bot. Or a bod. Oh. Ugh. I can't do that. Justin, wouldn't that be the American way? Like I'm a sim, right? That's good. I am. That's really very good. Think of yourself as a sim and me. You're a simulation. Not in a computer, but you are a simulation. This is your temporary form working with your temporary environment. So, how long have you been talking to the AI? Did you spend the whole weekend? Oh, I know what I am. Believe it or not. But it doesn't matter. I still have to operate within the laws of this paradigm. Crap. Ha ha. Thank you, Justin. That is true. Gotcha. I love it. Uh, wow. So the Filipinos have the lowest status, hoping they can get up to middle? I know. That's true. But you know, Charlie, the more in tune you get to the other rules of this place and yourself, your body, your energy, if you can skip over some of the lower vibrational stuff and move to the higher stuff faster, then you will be less encumbered by that stuff. But you won't know till you know. I thought there was a lot of Filipino mixed in. I thought that was like, I thought they became almost indigenous. Correct me, Doc. I thought they'd been around a real long time. They're the ones that, yeah, because that a lot of the Hawaiian look I thought was basically from Philippine influence. Oh my God, that's depressing. And I thought it was filled with um, artists and people like Esther Hicks. Well, I think she went back to Texas. Um, oh, who was a doctor that passed away? Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer lived in Hawaii. That's the payoff, Charlie. That is the trap right there. We were talking just before you came in. Doc and I were talking about he's getting a refund for his television, but after they agreed to give him the refund, they turned his TV off. It's dead. So you can do that remotely. So he started talking about what else it could control. And anyway, you could always go back and listen to that bit of the tape later. I forgot about the Chinese. Yeah, I was just thinking the Filipinos. Yeah, yeah. I know you wouldn't think, but yes, yes, I saw a lot of that there, actually. Yeah. You see, you think about what motivates people to doing bad things, any bad thing. Not keep the sexual stuff out of it because that's a whole different thing. But people, unless they're really nuts, they usually commit a crime like stealing um, because they're poor. They don't steal for the fun of it, despite there being having been a Pink Panther, the elite, the already wealthy, but just do it for the hell of it kinds of thieves. The people do things like that because they take risks like that because they're desperate. If that desperation was removed, those same people would not have to commit crimes, to make sure that they could survive another day or feed their family or whatever. Nobody wants to waste their time having to set things up and risk their lives in jail and being beaten or shot. Nobody really wants to do that. It's just the way people have become trapped. Yeah. You need to avoid university. A year is not a bad thing. I think the college experience is fun. It's way different than high school. And I did not have the college experience. I got tastes of it because of my friends in college and being able to go there and hang out and take part in stuff as if I was a student there. I audited some classes just sitting around. Um, no tests or anything because I didn't pay for anything. But it was cool to be part of it. And it's a different level of intellectual stimulation. It's just nothing like high school. No, that's public school. University is a choice. It's always a choice. You're not forced into university. You're not forced into a specific career. You're not forced into, other than prerequisites that you have to take a certain class or course, then that's just part of the educational system. That's not an imprisonment. I mean, if you're going to be in a pharmaceutical major, then you're going to have to expect to take chemistry. I know people that kept going back to school to avoid going out on their own. I had a friend, Zach, back in 1972, 73, 74, somewhere in that area, 73, yeah, 72, 73, I guess. He did not want to graduate. He just kept adding on. He was like the permanent student, anything not to graduate. He was like Van Wilder, only not the partier. Then again, he might have been. I don't know. Always seemed a little bit too conservative for party. But he did party some. I mean, you know, it was the 70s. I don't know, Justin, because I wanted to go to Paris. American schools generally don't have the same high educational standards, and from what I've heard, for me to be able to get into La Sorbonne out of my high school, even though I was a Regents student and honor roll, I would have had to take, I don't know, another year or two of classes, like more, before I could get to the entry level at La Sorbonne. So they have higher standards than American schools in some stuff. Yeah, that's what my friend was doing, definitely. Well, if you're able to design your own course, then you would take courses that are going to assist you in your non-traditional choices. But having some business backgrounds would be useful. Um, my sister found it extremely useful. So my sister's the only one of the four of us that has ever had a job that pays over 100,000 a year. So also in going to college, now she got her degree in fine arts, but then she went and she had to take some other stuff, and she ended up working on Wall Street for a couple of years. So yeah, and now because of her background in art, but also in CAD design, I mean, you just have to decide what you want, and then look at the courses available and see what's going to be useful to you. You can design your courses. Don't I mean you're not at the mercy of having to get a degree right off. Matter of fact, in America, that's what we call a liberal arts thing. You know, it's like the first year, maybe all 4 years if you want, but at least the first year. My father wanted me to be able to try different things and not try and make a lifelong decision based before I even had a chance to know what different things were like, which I thought was an amazingly wise decision. Not that he could afford to send me back to kindergarten, if you know what I mean. He didn't have a dime to his name by the time I was graduating. So, yeah. And my life was too insane for me to even think about filing for scholarships and things like that. It was like, I have to go to court. You know, I'm trying to put somebody behind bars. I don't have time for this shit. But see, if you don't have that kind of insane kinds of weird off-the-wall pressures on you, I would not try and make life-changing decisions all at once, you know. I'm not saying don't take a year off like a lot of people do. I'm not saying do take. You're going to have to examine more as the year goes on what you want to start off trying to do. You may decide after you take a little bit down one path you don't like it. You're going to want options. So try to think of school and a variety of courses available. Think of it as looking for ways to expand and open your world. It's not supposed to lead directly to a job or even a career. It's supposed to give you some insight and broaden your horizons, you know, traveling without leaving your hometown. And of course it'll be a lot of studying, but what's different in college versus high school, the teachers don't give a rat's ass if you pass or fail. They're not going to be pushing you or bugging you. It's like you either do your homework or you don't. You either pass your test or you don't. You're an adult. They treat you like an adult. You don't get treated like a kid when you go to college. Oh, I hate that, Charlie. I hate that. I get hungry before bed, and it's the worst time to eat because that's what helps you develop the acid reflux shit. But one of my favorite things and the fastest things is I throw a potato in the microwave for 5 minutes. If it's a small potato, wrap it in a wet paper towel, 5 minutes, and then matter of fact, if you oil it a little bit and then roll it in a wet paper towel, poke a hole in the potato or it'll blow up. In 5 minutes, you got something to eat. It's hot, it settles your stomach, and it's kind of, I call it my comfort tater. I do put butter on it. So careless? What, are you going back to school tomorrow? Don't be so dramatic. It's only a million years from now. Well, you can do a good job brushing your teeth, eat your tater, and then just get up and rinse your mouth out really fast and go back to bed. Ideas. Well, okay. Think of yourself as an adult. Make an adult decision for yourself. I had the serious hungries today. Serious hungries. And I had to go grocery shopping. But I had 3 hours to do it. So that's why I ended up going to 2 other stores, the dollar store and TJ Maxx. 3 hours to walk and walk and walk. Exactly. Justin, I have to remind myself that now and then because I get glued sometimes. It just depends on what my brain needs, I guess. And sometimes I get glued and I forget to even see the clock anymore. So, yeah, I'll see it's like, oh shit, it's 10:30. I didn't want to be awake at 10:30. I'm trying to sleep more. And what happened? I tried that last night, turned everything off, and I was up at 2 o'clock, and then back to bed at 3, and up again at 4. It's like I have no idea how much sleep I actually got. I don't even want to look. But I was so hungry by the time I got back. But yesterday I got it in my head. I want a sandwich. I want like a deli sandwich, like a giant Subway of something. And I haven't had anything like that in a year because it's not good for you, preserved meats and all that. But I had it in my head. It's like, okay, I'm going to buy just enough ham or roast beef or something to make one sandwich and get this out of my system. Now I got there and I get a beautiful orange bell pepper and beautiful romaine lettuce and some nice looking tomatoes. I got some pickles, some cheese, and I found a ham that was one of those, no nitrates and all that stuff. And I went, oh yeah, our animals are treated humanely. I was like, okay, because I really feel bad doing this. I got back, toasted my roll for a minute in the air fryer. Oh, it was so good. This big, and I put those snappy, peppy pickles on it. I didn't use any like ketchup or mustard or anything because there was so much flavor in the pickles and the tomatoes and the cheese and blah 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 blah. And I was like, and then I got a call. My friend was going to be over in a few minutes. I said, I just sat down to eat. Let me know when I need to run to the elevator because I'm starving. And she decided to wait until I was done eating. So, God, I was so hungry. Well, what would you stream? Actually, time is speeding up as we are moving outward in this expanding universe. The moon is eventually going to be too far away to affect the Earth. That's going to be interesting because our sun will still be alive. Our star. I was listening this morning to a question answer period from Esther and Abraham. And she reminded me that the way she learned about any of this was through her husband, Jerry. Jerry was fascinated with the afterlife and higher vibrations and all that. And he discovered the Seth books, the first one that had been dictated through Jane Roberts. Oh, the further away it gets? Wait, what? Captain's log. I just made a big log and oh. Okay, Captain. The moon will appear to grow in size. The sun will, of course, outlive us all. The sun's our home. Feel part of it. It was where we came from. It's our star. It all ends. It's a ball of fire, isn't it? A ball of gas. Yeah, John Edward wrote a book called What If God Was the Sun? Jane Roberts. It should. Jane Roberts was one of the first recorded people to channel a non-present entity. The group called Seth. It's going to be outside. It's going to be. It's not going to stay in orbit around the Earth forever. It's expanding. Its orbit is expanding. I mean, it's not going to happen in our lifetime. It's going to be around the Earth for a long time, but it's moving further away from the Earth. Of course, when it's like an eclipse, it should be very interesting, don't you think? If it's between the Earth and the sun, but it'll be closer to the sun. So the shadow would be bigger, right? Charlie, what are you talking about? Are you suggesting throwing a ball sufficiently hard enough to go through the atmosphere and into outer space? Let's see if we can try not giving me typos. Thank you. Spell tomorrow. My telephone spells it Robotics. Okay. Okie dokie. We're caught up. Oh, come back here, YouTube live chat. The star will expand as well. I'll have a few cycles of experiencing. The shadow will grow. See? Now that should be pretty interesting, right? I mean, imagine the entire earth in darkness, the shadow being so big. Instead of it being like, oh, you'll be able to see the eclipse at this time, you know, tomorrow. And it's like, no, you won't have to worry about it because the sky is going dark for the entire hemisphere. Wait, of which? The last episode was great. The one I was watching was such garbage, I couldn't bear to end it. Go to bed, Charlie. I think you're overtired now. And it just so happened, the apparent size of the moon is just enough to eclipse the sun. Yeah. Am I good or what? Shadow puppets. Shadow puppets. Taught me everything I know. Oh, I can make one. That's all I can do. That away. It went that away. Well, only for an hour or so. Voyager episodes that were primarily turned to be a bit boring thing. I have not seen anything with that of that series. Is that what you're watching? So, I don't want to get started on anything big because it's late. But I wanted to show you everything that Toeblarina got because I'll be making the videos over the next several days. I'm psyched. Oh, well, hey, we can try this now. Love me some EMH. You know EMH got me into opera? What a guy. Who? What? Who's talking about what? Who is EMH? Because I do like comedy. Robert Picardo? emergency medical hologram. It was played by Robert Picarod. Oh, I see. Emergency medical hologram. Is that like in lieu of a doctor? Because there is no doctor to be had? Can emergency hologram do things like surgeries? Or do they just instruct you in CPR or the Heimlich maneuver while encouraging you with a treat? Oh, I love Ed Begley Jr. and Sarah Silverman. Oh my God, that sounds hilarious. They were in the what? Voyager? It can do everything medical. Oh, that's even better than I originally invented for Numeris. Trying another spice. This one is Badia Sazon Completa. Complete seasoning. Another one where there's sugar and salt, but not as salty. The Asian skewer has way more salt than this. And hello. Where's my ingredients? Oh, there we go. Dehydrated vegetables, garlic and onion. Salt, monosodium glutamate. I try not to take excess of that. Spices, herbs, and tricalcium phosphate as anti-caking. Ingredients, vegetables. Oh, then it just says the same thing in Spanish. Okay. Sweet dreams. Oh, so he's a little bit a step up from Doc McCoy. My emotions will die and I look forward to that. Oh, please, go to bed. My emotions will die and I look forward to that. You are wearing all black, aren't you? Are your pajamas all black too? Emergency medical something. Ah, Voyager, right. Go to sleep, la 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 la, la la la, la la la, la da da da. Emo? I thought it was EMC. Season 6, episode 25. Is that Voyager? Voyager? Ah, Voyage. Oh. I have not gotten past the first season. Maybe no, I think I've seen the first 2 seasons of Next Generation. That's as far as I've gone in all the series. Because I ceased having TV. And then, you know, now watching things like that means investing money. Emo. Black. Dying. Oh. Gotcha. I'm going to put these in the kitchen. And Justin My friend brought me something today. Gelinade and Original Runts. Emotions are your guidance system, so you know whether you are attracting good or bad, because all thoughts attract. All thoughts attract like vibration. So if you're sitting being shitty to yourself in your head, that is what you're attracting more of. Your emotions are letting you know, what you feel is letting you know what you're doing to yourself and your future. Emotions are your guidance system. Never condemn your emotions just because some of them seem a little inconvenient at times. I haven't seen that, just kind of awkwardly. You tell oh. Well, if you're thinking about those assholes, guess what you're doing to your ass? This is why you can have a reaction because it's normal and natural. But you can't create anything. You can't bring good shit into your life when you're focusing on that. So have the reaction and then shorten the reaction. Can you change what happened? No. You have no power here. All you have is the assurance that you will get your money. And you will buy a brand new television, which is basically even better than the 2-year warranty, because there you go. So I get it. I caught myself today. Today was not one of my highest energy days, but several times I did manage to get my energy back up there, and it was great because it was in time to go out there and be with people. Because when you're going to go and be with people, you want to bring your best self to the table. And that's what I try to do. So even if I'm feeling down, I just try to bring it all up, open my wings, and open my heart. And things go way easier when you can do that. But that doesn't mean you're never going to think about the things that have screwed you up, mistakes you've made, inconveniences. It's how you respond to those situations in the long term that's creating your tomorrows. So, as hard as it is, hold on. Medical cannabis. I'm surprised, Justin. I expect Charlie not to know. But those are 2 strains. They are for pain, anxiety, and, believe it or not, creativity. They're more social than not. So I thought that was interesting. They're also known to make people talk more. Not that I need any help. So I thought that was a really nice thank you gift. I'll be watching the puppies again in May, only this time for a whole week. If you wake up numb, see a doctor. Tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow I have a Skype at 2 o'clock. So I'm going to try and be on in the evening. Why? You want me to be on in the morning? I have to do laundry at some point. There you go. I had to look it up on Leafly. I don't know one from the other anymore. I know. In the nick of time. Well, what do you want the doctor to do, honey? I know you went to the doctor about your back pain and you said your back was better, but you did get the note you needed for your class. What? Guessing what? Oh, I see the problem here. The two of you, neither one of you has color on your name. Why? Can you change the color of your font? Because everybody's got the same colored name except for Doc, because Doc is a mod. Wait a second. Who are you talking about? Charlie. Hold on. Let me make sure I didn't miss something here. Because both of you look the same. Here. I want to see a comment to my greatest surprise. But if anyone asks me to get it, I understand he doesn't want to work. But my mom straight up doesn't care or doesn't care enough. Who are you talking about who doesn't work? Where does that come in? You're missing a line here somewhere. Oh, that's terrible. Okay. Tomorrow is Thursday, right? So tomorrow I'll be on Twitch instead of YouTube, even though I did not put it into the schedule because my schedule's been sketchy. Now that we're in February, I might be able to schedule again. Not sure. Because you're all... I can't see anything. It just looks like you all have all white stuff and nothing came of it. I saw that, but what does that have to do with... I understand he doesn't want to work, but my mom straight up... What do you mean your doctor doesn't want to work? Schedule again if you have pains. What else is she supposed to say? You have a weak lower back. You have no core strength. That's the problem. I can freaking see it from here. Well, that's got nothing to do with that. He's not retired yet. He's still working. He has seen a million people your age and with your kinds of problems. You're not that unique. Give him a little credit for having actually, if he's near retirement, he has seen thousands of patients. So I think he probably has a good bead on what's going on in general. You went there for an excuse not to fail gym because you couldn't do a couple of the things that gym teacher asked you to because you had back pain. And then you said your back was feeling good. So you didn't, fuck up a vertebrae or a disc. So that's good. Why is it your mom's fault? Stop. Charlie, go to bed. Go to bed, sweetie. The minute we become a victim and we hand over our power to anyone but ourselves, we're fucked. So go to bed and awake and with a new attitude. I know what you went for. You told us at length in this chat. But in the meantime, you're supposed to be in bed, and I'm going to start getting irritable if you don't go to bed. What do you do about it? Have you even looked up have you looked your pain up online, like most responsible adults? Have you looked at an x-ray or a skeleton, the muscles? Have you looked at anything like I suggested you look into? I'm going to start talking like a mother if you don't go to bed. Have you done anything? Have you done anything to correct it? What you need to be telling your mother is the chair is giving you a bad back. Just say that. Mom, it's this chair. This chair is killing my back. And then walk out of the room. Good night, sweetie. Okay, I can see you guys on the phone. That's what I have to work with. See? But I do like my Twitch emotes. Oh, I'm glad you did that. And multiple times. Continue to stay there. Bye. Yeah, if you're susceptible to that, Orion, you can't do that. I'm not looking for trouble, okay? But I know I've got triple scoliosis. I know my problems. I've got a bunch of MRIs and CAT scans and, doctor ordered this. I got a rod in my back, blah, 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 blah. We all have shit, but of some kind or another. When we have back pain, it's very important to identify it, and you can do it fairly easily because there are so many different back pains that are easily identifiable, especially lower back pain. Now, if you have a certain kind of pain that is unrelenting, because if it's an actual problem, the pain does not go away. If you have a disc problem, a nerve problem, once it starts hurting, it doesn't stop hurting. It tends to get worse. The pressure on I've got 3 protruding discs in my lower back and a vertebrae that is way too forward from the rest of the spine. It looks like it's getting ready to get cut right off. That looks scary when I look at that MRI. But you can improve your strength. So pain management started not with painkiller, but with exercises to strengthen the core, to support that part of the spine, because it's not the kind of thing that does well with surgery. Even though some doctors will operate, it doesn't usually fix the problem and causes other problems of its own. So I don't want a fusion, and I don't want any other kind of surgery either. So I have to remember posture, walking, stretching, core, and I have a lot more to do and a long way to go. But if I relent on those, holding myself up, the pain does not let up. The pain will start getting worse and worse until I literally can't pick my leg up off the floor. So my left leg is just dragging, and that's not exactly attractive. Also, when it's dragging, it's because it hurts so much. Okay, it's just like radiating through the spine, down the hip, down. Luckily, it doesn't go all the way down to my foot most of the time. That's the sciatic nerve there. So I know pain, but I also know how to stop pain through distraction and through happiness. Yes, happiness. The happier you are, the less chronic pain you will have in your body. You can test this yourself. When people are happy, different chemistry is going on, and you are not going to be feeling anywhere near the level of pain that you do when you're unhappy, or especially when you're thinking about that pain. You're calling it pain, you're labeling it. Basically, it's like fixating it in your body at a certain point. You don't want to make it hard in your body. You want to keep anything like that loose. Just look at it as a sensation passing through. Because wherever it hurts, the real sensation, it's how it's being translated in the brain. That's like codeine, morphine, all that stuff. It doesn't kill the pain. It just cuts off the signal to the brain. So the brain knows it can still feel pain, but it just won't let that signal get all the way through. And I remember watching that happen in my body after getting a morphine injection, after I had spasms in my sleep after surgery. So I was screaming in my sleep, and I had started taking myself out of my body cast, which was fun for them to walk into. Yeah, it was kind of bizarre, but I remember feeling what was letting go last, and what had happened was I was having a nightmare, and I was angry in my dream. And when I got angry in my dream, my body tensed up, and I was still healing. I was only like a day out of surgery. Matter of fact, it was my first day out of ICU in my own room, and and then in my sleep, I was in a cast that was like a clamshell. It put you in a full body cast, and then before the surgery, they cut it in half. So they take the top off, and they flip you over to do the surgery, and then they put you back into the cast, and it velcros shut. So in my sleep, with 2 IVs in each arm, I undid the Velcro straps, trying to get out of the cast, and I got the top off. And I was apparently rocking in my cast shell. It was bizarre. So they came in, they gave me a big shot of Valium to relax the spasm, and that was an experience because I was consciously and so aware of the pain that I was watching every part of my body go into complete meltdown. And then finally that knot just started to give way, and it was like, oh, which was pretty good. Dizziness, fatigue, and death are the symptoms of everything. I know, isn't it? But it works. It works. We have a bunch of different systems going on here. We're holding ourselves together. We created ourselves. You know, our energy, our map is what we're living. And we can change that if we become aware of how to do that. Most people are not going to be aware of that. They're going to struggle with all the stuff that animal human has to deal with. It's really hard to rise above animal human, because animal human feels, and feeling is distracting as hell. We're distracted by good feelings and bad feelings. And I mean, God, think of dogs when they see something. Squirrel, you know, you can be staring with love in your eye, and suddenly it's like, squirrel. Animals are like that, right? Well, so are we. We're animals. And we have to consciously make decisions about how we want to direct our energy. And the more we understand about energy, the more we change how we're directing our own energy. So the animal human needs the support of everything that can plug into it, to console it, to give it some peace. What's cool is that so much of it can be rewired. And yeah, we're just learning more and more about how we're wiring our bodies and our brains, and how we can change it. It's it's a very exciting time to be alive. As I keep saying, I hope we don't kill ourselves, because it would be such a shame to lose all of the science, all the discoveries. I mean, look at how many centuries people battled things like cancers without even knowing what the hell they were, and now we're curing them. I mean, people get percentages like 50-50, or look at colon cancer. Most of it, right, found early. And as when my doctors explain, there's only 4 or 5 cancers. There's only 4 or 5 tests, period, to detect cancer before it becomes, a killer, which I thought was like, okay, now you convinced me, colonoscopy. It's really a miraculous time to be alive. So we should be grateful and try not to destroy it. If we can make it long enough, and if we can teach our younger generations effectively what we've already learned, we eliminate a bunch of the distraction beliefs, things that disempower people, give people back their power, show them how to use it. This would be, well, life-changing, earth-changing. But there is so much that has to change. And Americans are, well, actually, it's not just Americans. The problem for a lot of places like Europe is as expanded as I can get. All those different countries, they have expanded. They're small countries. Most of them are very small. You can compare them to American states, and considering that, like, the whole Isle of Britain can fit in North Carolina. It's like, I can cross North Carolina end to end at its broadest point in 6.5 hours. Wow. It takes a lot longer there to get across the pond to that island. So, we live in such a remarkable time. We could eliminate poverty, eliminate the reason for so much crime. And when Maui was talking about how, his TV was taken offline by the people who were replacing it with money instead of another TV. While it's going to inconvenience him for several days, the very fact that they can control it from this distance because it's internet is pretty impressive. But they could also do the same kind of technology with traffic stops. People who are doing dangerous things on the road, you can program it so that, all right, send this signal to pull over to that car, have them pull over. Yes, but consider what was, well, yes, okay, you know what, that is very possible now because of global warming. Because disasters are going to force Americans to become the immigrants into other states. They may be able to stay in this country, but some of them are going to have to flee, and they're going to go north. So, because the entire South is in danger, serious danger of being so hot that people will not be able to sweat enough to stay cool. And while they are better prepared to live in hot temperatures, further south you are, if you're acclimated, you were born there, raised there. I remember my landlord and his family. I was like, I can't breathe. And he's like, I love summer. And he's sweating. He's wet everywhere. But he's smiling. Like, summer's my favorite season. And it's like, really? Really? Winter has suddenly become mine. So, but I'm not from the South. I lived there 17 years. It was not enough to acclimate. I mean, up to a degree, yes, but overall, no. Well, that's the point, Justin, exactly. But because it's possible, we could make a safer world. We are relinquishing control. You know that story I talk about, the marching morons, science fiction? It was in Omni magazine. Marching morons. One of the things about that story that stuck was how, because of people refused to, now this was written back when people were still arguing safety belts, seat belts. They still did not want to wear seat belts. They were. And you couldn't get your car to pass if you didn't have them. And if you did get caught speeding or something and you were not wearing one, you got a ticket, which is what people were protesting. They felt that if they were in their car, they should be able to do anything they want in their car. So, in this science fiction story, people are driving these cars. The speedometer goes way up there. They hit pedal to the metal, and they all think they're speeding, but actually all of them are controlled. I know, I did too. But all of the cars were controlled, and they never went above 35 miles an hour. But the people were so used to seeing that go up to 100 miles an hour or whatever. It was completely arbitrary. But the people were fine, because as long as they thought that they could speed, they were fine. But their cars never went over 35. So it was like, yeah, they're idiots, but they're happy. Let them have their fancy little cars, whatever they are. They still can't do it. Was that when it was in it? Yeah, I was one of the first subscribers, and I collected them loyally, and it broke my heart when they went out of business. Getting more and more advertising in it and getting thinner. It was like, oh. But they wasted so much paper and ink, and that is what sunk them. That is what sunk them. They could have stayed with excellent high standards if they had just let go of a couple of ideas for, like all black pages with white ink, all red pages with silver ink. Yes, exactly. But instead of in the Marching Morons, instead of it being a computer-run world of the Matrix, keeping everybody happy in their little pods, which, by the way, is a fantasy that a lot of right-wingers are having now, because they feel that our futures are threatened by not enough population growth. Not enough population growth, right? We can't feed the people that are here now, but there's not a big enough population. And we've got all these homeless people, but we want to bring more in. They're talking about actually doing a pod-like thing so people can be born 30,000 fetuses at a time. 30,000 people, future people. Can you believe it? I believe it. They're assholes. Well, my ex-husband collected National Geo. When he made sure when he moved, he kept them all. Yes. But I was fine with that. That was something that really was his, because his mother got him a subscription every year for his birthday. So she just kept it going. I'm sorry, I didn't keep my father's going. My father had a friggin' lifetime subscription. And I don't know who told them he died. Probably me, the honest one. He's passed away. It's like, idiot. They just keep sending him. They don't know he's dead. Yeah, the National Geos, when we moved into that haunted house in Mount Vernon, New York, the attic, which was starting to fall into the kitchen, the attic was full of weird shit. And the more you learned about those people that lived there before, the weirder it got. The owner of the house had been a hatter, like the old-fashioned, like Mad Hatter. He apparently had gone a little mad. The house was in such amazing disrepair. But piles of 1800 something on National Geographic, piled and carefully tied up in piles. That was in the attic when we moved in. I know, because I hung out up there. Cool stuff from the old days. But the only magazine I made sure I kept every issue of was Omni and New Woman or something like that. Be an elf to yourself. That was the first all-woman magazine that wasn't about how to please your boyfriend, like Cosmopolitan. Yep, Mercury Madness, exactly. Yeah, that was the house that part of the floor above was in the kitchen. Part of the attic was going into a bedroom. No, a bathroom, sorry. And the basement wasn't finished. It spooked the shit out of me. Let's see. What else was up there? Well, aside from a ghost, or an apparition. Not a ghost. There's no such thing as ghosts. There is energy, though. There were bats that lived up there. It was the first time I ever saw a bat up close. A row of them. That was really cool. What else? Oh, yeah, it had the pantry downstairs, which we turned into like a half bathroom, but it had been where I guess they kept the crystal and the wine, and someone had poured like some sherry in a crystal glass and left it. They didn't even put the cork back in the crystal bottle, so it was like dried. In the kitchen, they'd made breakfast and left the breakfast on the table. I mean, they left the house and everything was just dehydrated in place. When I walked in and saw that, I was 10 years old, and I'm like, we're out of here. This place is haunted. And I ran back, and my sisters and I huddled in the car, and my mother somehow got convinced to buy the house. That was a little interesting thing. Oh my goodness. Computer shoppers. And Reader's Digest, I remember that too. Do you know they still are around? Not in the same version that we grew up with. Well, I grew up with. I don't know what you grew up with because you're younger than me considerably. But you know a lot of the same things, which is cool. So where is Oink? How is she doing tonight? Does she have her hands full? Urbex? Huh. You mean abandoned like the house that we moved into? It wasn't exactly abandoned, but it clearly had been abandoned. The road, a front yard, it had a magnolia tree and lilac. Everything was way overgrown. The grass was taller than me. There was a forsythia bush that I could have built a clubhouse in or under. I loved it. And of course, all my hiding places immediately were cut down. But I loved the outside. Inside, I did not want to move there. Did not want to move there at all. But I did like the neighborhood. It was quiet and extremely residential, you know. It was pretty good. Okay. Nap time. I had such a big sandwich before I did the show. It's not really much of a show. It's just been a show and tell. I was looking for balloons on Amazon. I wanted to find some. Oh, good, that does look round. There were only like 3 inches. forgot how you blow up balloons. I have a pump. It has to be just a little bit bigger than this. I thought, you know, that string art? I love that. But I don't have a practical need for a bunch of, you know, lanterns. But then I realized when I saw somebody else do it, that you can make the small ones and put them over LED lights. And that works. So I thought, well, that's pretty good, because I can do a tray of small ones, you know, with you guys. And then put them on a string of lights. Oh, this could be pretty groovy. Kind of like egg. Like egg. Well, you know, me and eggs. That would be a good size, right? And the when you pop the balloon, you pull it through there, and then they stick a light in. All right, well, I am gonna go. I've already eaten. I'm done with my tea, so I will do the last of the almost no dishes because I had a sandwich. And I'll be back tomorrow morning, but I'm gonna be on Twitch tomorrow. Lauren Bacall said it best. You just put your lips together and blow. I never learned how to whistle. My whistle is pathetic. Aloha! I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Keeping me compagnia. I blow some kisses in your direction. See you tomorrow on Twitch. Hasta la vista. Right?